There's no such thing as a common reptile. These creatures have adapted over time to an extraordinary range of habitats and lifestyles. They can be found underground, in the mountains, in treetops, and in water. Owning a reptile can be fascinating and educational for children. They learn about adaptation, behavior, and the environment. Learning the natural history and proper care of a pet reptile can make the science of biology a little more interesting.
The most common reptiles we get at the shelter are red-eared sliders, which are aquatic turtles, iguanas, and snakes ranging in size from 6 inches to over 10 feet. The shelter does not have the setup, the habitat, or the resources to provide for needs of most reptiles in the shelter. Because of this, we work closely with rescue partners and transfer the reptiles to those rescue partners as quickly as possible.
Well, reptiles make great pets for anyone. There are certain ones that do better with kids and certain ones that you need a little more experience for. The one I'm taking out now, this is an albino corn snake. Corn snakes are the most popular pet snake in the world at this point. They're native to North America. They're actually native right here in Fairfax. They'll look a little different because this one's an albino, is missing the brown and black that normally would be in his coloring. But these are very, very docile. They don't get very large. This one is almost full grown, and so they're really easy to keep. And they're great for kids that are allergic to, say, furry animals, dogs, cats, hamsters, things like that. They're really easy to maintain, and it's great for vacations because you just leave some water and say goodbye and they're fine. The leopard geckos that I have in this container are also a great choice for kids. A lot of teachers keep them in their classroom. This is actually a full adult leopard gecko, and so again, very easy to maintain, not dangerous in any way, and easy to keep. They're mostly bug eaters, so toss them a few crickets and they're good. Some of the reptiles are desert animals, some of them are tropical animals, and some of them are temperate. This guy is a temperate animal. He's, like I said, from North America, so room temperature with a light bulb over one end to give him a little heat, a place to hide, and clean water. And then feed him every 1 to 4 weeks, depending on how big he is, and he's fine. There are others. These guys are more of a desert. These need more of a desert setup, so a lot hotter. And then there are others that need a tropical setup with a lot more humidity. So it just depends on what you're getting. You need to research what you're going to get before you get it. Don't impulse buy. Because that's a surefire way of getting the wrong thing. For instance, it's really common for people to buy this cute little baby python at the pet store, and unfortunately some places will tell you, oh, it won't grow any bigger than the tank, and what they end up doing is buying a baby giant python that ends up being 10, 15, even 20 feet long, and most people can't handle that kind of responsibility. Certain ones don't mind being handled. Others mind it a lot more and are more for just looking at, kind of the way fish are. It just depends on the species and the particular personality of that animal. Any animal with a mouth can bite. So, you know, I always tell my students I have a bigger mouth than the snake does. So I'm more likely to bite than he is. But yes, they can bite. None of these animals are dangerous if they do bite. In fact, if this guy decided to bite, it would be kind of like getting scratched on a rose bush or something. Minimal, you know, wash it, slap a Band-Aid on if you even need that. Usually not. Well, this is Perseus. He came to us, he is up for adoption. He came to us a couple of weeks ago from a scoutmaster out in Prince William County. And originally they thought it was a female, so they had it named Persephone, and I took one look and said, no, this is a male, so we've changed it to Perseus. But he's about 3 years old, and he's pretty active at the moment because he's gotten warm with my body heat. But easy to take care of. A 20-gallon or larger aquarium would work for him, and he'll get a little bit bigger, but not too much more. And as you can see, he's real curious. He likes to climb around, and he'll sometimes go inside your shirt because it's dark in there and it's warm, but they're not dangerous in any way, and so really great choice for a pet. Corn snakes are related to the black snakes that we have in this area. They're cousins. Of course, the corn snakes have an orange color, so they're sometimes called red rat snakes, as where the black ones are the black rat snakes. But these guys are great. So I have a new bracelet now. He gets fed frozen mice that have been thawed out. We always feed our snakes frozen because that way the mouse can't bite back and it can't have any parasites that can hurt the snake. It's also more humane for the mouse if it gets killed quickly and gently rather than being stalked and eaten by a snake. So the leopard geckos are native to the Middle East and Southeast Asia. They're called leopard geckos because of the spots that make them look like a leopard. These guys are really great pets. They're really common in the pet trade. And they're nocturnal, so they're going to be active at night as opposed to being out during the day. They're insectivores, so they just need some bugs, different kinds of bugs to feed them. And they're really gentle. This girl's getting a little active because she wants to have all 4 of her paws on something. So this one is the normal color, and then I have the albino, who is patternless. So he's also got blue eyes. So that comes with being an albino. And he's also really active today. Everybody's wiggly today. But again, great choices for a lizard pet. Both of these are up for adoption through Virginia Reptile Rescue. So if anybody's interested, they can certainly check them out on our webpage. And then I've also got another critter with me who is in the bag. And this one has a scary name. People think, they hear the word python and they think of something huge. And escapee. So this is a ball python. They're native to Africa. And the reason they're called ball pythons is this is what they do when they're scared. They curl up in a ball with their head in the middle, and they just hope that whatever's trying to bother them goes away. So this is full grown. He's not going to get any bigger than this. And they're very gentle. This one actually just came into our shelter last week. And they're very personable. A lot of people have these as pets. People find that they're really good to wrap around their neck and just sit and watch TV sometimes. Of course, once they get nice and warm, they get curious and they start looking around. So always have to keep an eye on where they're going. But these are great as a first pet snake. Not dangerous in any way, really. I have cats and dogs too. What I always tell people is you keep everything separate, and if you've been handling something that might be a prey item, that you want to wash your hands before you go to pet these guys. So I don't keep birds as pets because the smell of the birds would always be triggering their eating instincts, so I don't keep birds. I also wouldn't keep hamsters or rabbits or anything like that because, again, those smell like food. But the cats and dogs are not prey animals for them, so they don't react to that smell at all. But sure, you can have other pets too. I certainly have a whole menagerie. Just a yearly checkup, just to make sure that everything's good. They don't require any shots. They can't transmit, rabies or anything like that. They're really, really low maintenance as far as vet care. If they do get sick, like any animal, they would need to go to the vet, but it's pretty low maintenance. As far as a terrarium for this guy, he would need a 30-gallon long or larger. I always tell people to get the largest that you can have the space for, because in the wild they would have, a huge territory. So you can't get a terrarium too big, but 30 minimum. I would go with 55 or 90 or something even larger if you can. Make it relatively warm on one end and unheated on the other, and that way they can choose where to go, whether they want to be warm or cool. And just have some hide boxes where that they can go and hide and feel secure. And that's because in the wild, that's where they spend most of their time, is underground. So, they're looking to keep away from predators. Like I said, they're ball pythons, they're scaredy cats. So you know, they're going to hide from everything.